Hey everyone, thank you so much for coming back to my YouTube channel. My name is Lids. I am your money mentor online. Today I want to talk to you about a different type of FIRE. So I've been doing a series on FIRE, financial independence, retire early, and today I want to talk about coast FIRE. Sounds interesting, doesn't it? It's not a coastal fire, it's just coast FIRE. I'll tell you what it is. So coast FIRE is the ability to make large investments at the beginning of your career and then let them grow without making additional investments to them. So I'm going to read the definition that I see here. Coast FIRE is a financial independence strategy that involves saving and investing early in your career and then letting your investments grow without making additional contributions. The goal is to reach a target amount of savings that allows you to coast towards retirement while continuing to work. So, this is really targeting my young listeners. My younger listeners. If you are anything from 18 all the way up to about 40, this is something you can do. So if you're just starting out in your career, put as much as you can into that pension pot. Max it out. If your company is willing to actually match your finances, match your pension, max out as much as they agree to, ladies and gentlemen. And then if you do that, like for the first 10 to 15 years of your career, you can literally let it be and watch compound interest work its magic. So remember, guys, financial independence is different for everyone. We don't have a one-size-fits-all approach towards it. Bottom line, this could be what works for you if you are younger. So think about it. You're literally trying to reach your target of 200,000 by the time you're 50. And you want to be able to do that as soon as possible. So I'm going to put up two separate screens that will show you how investing early in your life compared to later in your life allows you to actually mark and make use of the benefits of compound interest that over time will multiply what you put into that account in those early days based on the time value of money and how it actually allows you to grow that money over time. So ladies and gentlemen, let's dig in. Take a look on the left side of the screen and on the right side of the screen. I'm going to show you people who invested the same amount of money, but at different times on a different timeline. And you will see how investing early, especially in your pension, absolutely changes your life. So think about it this way. What are we talking about? The next thing you need to do is to be able to calculate your coast FIRE number. And the idea is that your coast FIRE, the money that you put into your finances, into your pension or savings early in your career, will eventually collide with your FIRE number, be it F.I.R.E, at a later date because of compound interest working its magic. So it's normal. So if your financial independence number is 40,000 a year, based on the return of your investment that you've put in place, you need to decide how much you would need to invest based on average returns of whatever you choose, and then that will allow you to then calculate your coast FIRE number. But remember, the key here, guys, is starting early. The time is of essence. If you don't start early, you really can't object. You can't use this option because it's important that you take the time to understand how much earlier and how much you intend to put into your savings or your pension pot at the start of your career, as you're growing, when you're in your 20s, when you're actually at a place where you don't necessarily have as much responsibility to put in, to actually put your money towards. Use that time to store up what you want, to save up what you want, to actually, load your financial accounts or your savings accounts and pension pots with money. Don't blow it all by going to the club. Don't eat out every day. Rather, live that lean life in your earlier days, and then you'll benefit from it as you reap it later. So, what are some of the advantages of coast FIRE? So, a lot of people see coast FIRE as a shortcut to retirement. I mean, it's crazy, isn't it? But the fact that you actually put that money in early and compound interest helps you grow it means that you could easily retire early because you started early. It's really that simple. So by starting early, it puts you in a place where you can actually have that shortcut. And sometimes by the age of 45, you're able to actually quit your main job and maybe just have a small supplemental job that allows you to actually, continue to live your life. But yes, The first thing is it gives you a shortcut towards retirement. So another thing is that you can actually make that decision to live an intentional life. It causes you, or forces you actually, if you make that commitment, to be intentional about how you save. Now, I did mention earlier that obviously if you're younger, this is a lot easier to achieve. But if you're older, say if you're in your 40s, going into your 50s, it can still be done as long as you're willing to make larger contributions towards this, and you'll get to that place of FIRE still, but you have to be able to make the sacrifice now. You played when you were younger, you got to be able to actually make that sacrifice now so you have what you need so that you can retire as early as possible. Additional contributions might be required. Third is, you might actually be able to change your career. This is something that really is interesting. If you've done your slog years in the finance industry or in Silicon Valley or in places that require time and energy of you, towards the time where you hit 45, you could actually make a choice and change a career that is more meaningful to you, one that is more passion-driven rather than money-driven. So dream about that, ladies and gentlemen. Those are great advantages of Coast FIRE that you could always take into consideration. Now, let's look at the downsides of Coast FIRE. The first one is coasting your way to retirement. You may actually find that you don't have enough. That is a terrible option, a terrible situation that could happen, but it is something that can happen. So if you're not tracking it, coasting might not be working for you. So always, I would definitely ensure that you track your savings, your pension pot, to what you're planning towards retiring to. Track it. Coasting may leave you in a position where you end up short. So ladies and gentlemen, don't do that. The second drawback for Coast FIRE is that it might demotivate you to work. Right? Think about it this way. You know you want to retire at age 45, but geez, it's so much of a slog to get there. You're putting everything you have in this pot of money, and you're exhausted because you're working so hard, but you're not actually enjoying the money at that time. Ladies and gentlemen, this requires delayed gratification. Take a moment, think about what you're trying to achieve. Don't be demotivated. Keep going, and remember, so many people get exhausted by the age of 40. And that's when you might be in a position where you could actually say, you know what, I'm going to back off and choose a passion career. The third drawback is a truthful one. What if you don't live beyond 45? Not what we want to hear from anybody, but this is the truth though. What about the fact that you may not live as long as you'd hoped? I know it's not something I would definitely consider, but it's something to make sure that at least you balance out the idea of putting as much as you can with also living your life on a day-to-day basis. Okay, so how do we calculate our number? So there are two factors that we take into consideration. The first is how much we can invest, and the second is how long we're able to invest it for. So remember, this is all about time, money, understanding how that works to your advantage. So being able to calculate that number, you have to be able to say to yourself, over a period of X number of years, how much do I want to achieve so that I can actually retire early? So take those numbers, find online calculators, crunch the numbers to ensure that you're in a place where you actually achieve what you're going for, ladies and gentlemen, so you don't miss that boat. So in conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, I want to encourage you to start today. Today is the most important day of your investing career. Everyone tells you if you want to buy real estate, and this is not limited to real estate, buy it 10 years ago. But second to that, buy it today. Because 10 years from now, you'll be in a completely different position. So start your investment journey today. Start to understand what it means to set aside money. Start your journey today. And hopefully, I'll see you when we retire early together. Guys, I only ask 3 things of you before you leave. First and foremost, I'd love you to like this video. Secondly, subscribe to my channel. And of course, thirdly, share this video with someone who you think could benefit from it today. And I'll see you on the next one.